So I'm back, taking advantage of the evening bite again. I'd been having some success with the buzzbait, so I started out throwing that. After not catching any bass on it for a long time, I picked up a spinnerbait and couldn't get a bite on that either. So in a last ditch effort, I threw out the jig, was letting it sink all the way to the bottom, and then working it a little bit faster to begin with, and then as I fished it some more, then I kind of slowed it down and ended up getting quite a few bites in this spot. Wasn't always able to land them, but ended up having a decent evening anyway. Catching some pretty decent fish here. And that fish ate that jig all the way in its mouth. Pretty good fish, and 16 and a half inch range there. Hooked up again. And the first couple I'd hooked had jumped off, so I'm trying to keep these fish down now. I got a pretty good fish on here. I have to reach down and grab this one. Got a nice bass here. Probably in the 18-inch range. Maybe 2 3/4 to 3 pounds. 2.5 to 3 pounds, somewhere in that range. So all I'm doing with this jig is I'm throwing it out, letting it sink to the bottom, and then I'm just moving it real slow along the bottom. If you ever watch a crawfish in the water, they move pretty slow along the rocks and stuff. And so I'm just working that slow, dragging it along the bottom. Then if I run into some weeds or a rock or something, I'll just kind of shake it in place a little while. And if nothing bites, then I'll pop it so it looks like a crawdad shooting away from danger. And sometimes that'll trigger a bass to bite. And then I'll go back to just slowly working along the bottom until I run into something else. And that seems to work pretty good when these bass are keyed in on eating things off the bottom like they are on this particular day. The only way I could catch them was fishing that jig along the bottom of the lake. And I was catching some pretty nice bass. Wasn't always catching them though. Sometimes I was losing them. I almost titled this a draw because it was kind of 50-50 whether I caught the fish or not. I lost about the same number as I caught, so could have been a lot better night, but I was thankful to catch the ones I did catch. So got another pretty decent bass here. This might have been the small one of the evening. Still probably 14-15 inches. Not too bad. Looked like it was just constant action, but I had to fish this jig slowly and cover some water with this jig. But effective nonetheless. So if you're not catching fish up on top waters or in the mid range, make sure you're throwing some kind of bottom bait. Working the bottom of the lake. Because sometimes these fish will key in on that bottom water column and be eating things off the bottom of the lake. Especially when they're on crawdads. So I hope this helped you out. And as always, thanks for watching. And we'll catch you on the next video.